From the Patricia Lindley Studio here in the Patricia Lindley Center for the Performing Arts, welcome to another episode of Dialogue with the Dukes. Today's show is being brought to you by Donnie's Restaurant, located at 203 North Main, and also the La Troya Bar and Mexican Grill, located at 116 East Herrick here in downtown Wellington. Today, as you can see behind me, we have 6 seniors from the volleyball team, and we're going to be highlighting the volleyball team here during this Dialogue with the Dukes. This past Thursday night, for any of you who stood out the end of the game all the way past 10 o'clock last night, you saw this team, the volleyball team, have a tremendous win over LaGrange in their volleyball match. They started out 0-1. Their first set they lost, but they came back, won the second set. The third set they lost, but the fourth set they really came through with a win in the fourth set, 25-20, which made them go to a fifth set in which they won by a score of 15-9. These 6 seniors, along with the rest of the volleyball team, I think had a wonderful game, and we'd like to congratulate them on a wonderful win over that team out east. We will be back after this commercial message and talk to all 6 of them 3 at a time. This is Dialogue with the Dukes.
Are you hungry but don't want to eat fast food or go to an expensive restaurant? Well, maybe Donnie's could be for you. Welcome to Donnie's. Business hours are from 11 to 9 p.m., Tuesday through Thursday. Friday is 11 to 11 p.m., Saturday is 10 to 11 p.m., and Sunday is 10 to 7 p.m. Do you like gambling? Well, Donnie's has Keno and paper crackers. Crack open and win a prize. Safety first. Do you like watching TV while you eat? Me too. Donnie's has multiple TVs with different channels on them. You like football? They have football. You like the news? They have the news. And while you're eating, they have comfortable, relaxing music playing. Donnie's also has merchandise. Are you a stressed out adult over the age of 21? Well, Donnie's has a wide variety of beverages. Donnie's also has takeout. For pre-order, please call 440-828-0888. Look at that nice, juicy burger with those golden, crispy fries and those buttery, juicy wings that'll slap your taste buds.
We're back. If you'd like to have the sports bar environment, go to Donnie's Restaurant, located at 203 North Main. They serve wings and sandwiches and burgers. So go to the Donnie's Restaurant at 203 North Main. To my immediate right, we have Taylor Standen, a senior here. We have Jade Davis, and we have Gabby Miller to my immediate left. These young ladies performed extremely well last Thursday night, and we'll talk a little bit about them individually in just a bit. But before we go into that, I'd like to talk about last year's all-conference and area awards, and you might actually hear some of the names that we'll be talking about during this. So as far as the all-conference and area awards, all-conference awards, first team, Morgan Lemkool, second team, Bella Beck, and honorable mention was Brooke Lemkool. All Lorain County Awards, first team, Morgan Lemkool and Bella Beck. Second team, Taylor Standen and Brooke Lemkool. And the All District Awards, first team was Morgan Lemkool and Bella Beck. Also, I would like to have a special shout out to Morgan Lemkool. Morgan Lemkool, of course, went through several problems medically, and she came out smelling like a rose, for lack of a better term. Morgan was, and I have to get the glasses on for this, Morgan was selected to play in the Senior All-Star Game for district and state this fall, and also Morgan and fellow senior Gwen Van Natter played in the Lorain County game, and Morgan is believed to be the first Wellington volleyball player to play in the state All-Star Game. So congratulations to Morgan for that. Before we actually, again, talk to these young ladies, we want to talk to give a shout out to all of the volleyball players on the varsity this year, starting out with junior Lauren Van Natter, junior Peyton Teague, junior Ella Postlethwaite, sophomore, number 18, Alexa Gallion, sophomore Sophia Beck, junior Danica Borzi, Brooke Lemkool, also a junior, and finally Olivia Ramirez, also a junior, along with our 6 seniors who we get to talk to right now. Taylor, I want to talk about you specifically. You are one of the stat leaders last Thursday night. You had 38 assists. I'm told by Mr. Bowman that you have a chance of getting up to as many as 1,000 assists for the year. And I believe he told me that only 3 young ladies have ever had 1,000 or more assists. So I don't remember how many you have to go in the last couple of games, but congratulations to you on your 38 the other night. Jade, you being a senior, what position do you actually play? What is it known as?
Defensive specialist.
Defensive specialist, okay. So you get to do lots of digs and, shall we say, hits from the back line.
Yes.
Exactly. And to my immediate left, we have Gabby Miller. Gabby herself, she was also one of the stat leaders. She had 9 kills and 8 blocks. Are you considered a defensive specialist too, or is that something different?
I don't think, maybe because of my blocks.
Right, exactly. Yeah. All right. Well, the first question we'll go to Taylor. What do you think was the secret to the victory over LaGrange last Thursday night?
I feel like our team starts out very low, but eventually throughout the night and the game, we all pick each other up. We've always kind of been like that. I feel like we've always started out low, and then we always have to go and pick each other up. But it was definitely just everyone coming together.
I have noticed that. Often you go down 0-1 after the first set, and you have to come back from that. So,
yes.
Yeah, it's certainly something that you got to pick each other up, like you said. Well, Jade, explain the importance, kind of along with this, importance of communication and why that's so important, especially if you go down 0-1.
Well, if you don't communicate, a lot more balls drop on the floor, which only makes everyone more frustrated because no one's doing the job, but it's also because no one's talking to each other. So,
is there a frustration level that comes out amongst the 3 of you, or in fact, the whole team? Is there, especially when you go down 0-1?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, now the position that you play. Do you feel like you're a role player, a leader, especially being a senior? Do you feel like that you're something having to do with playing the role as a senior, or is it something communication, or is it just pepping everybody up?
I feel like it's all of them because I always have to be there for a block, and if not, then I have to communicate with the back row so that they know this is going to be a hard hit to them.
Right.
Then I always have to bring them up and say don't worry, that's also my fault.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And I noticed that when you and McKenna go in and out of the game, you're always, what's it called, jump up and you hit high fives and things like that. That's certainly part of it, isn't it?
Yes.
Exactly,
yes.
Exactly. Well, back to Taylor. What do you feel like the team's biggest challenge was this year?
Our biggest challenge was definitely everyone gelling together. Mm-hmm. Every single person on our team, JV and varsity, everyone has their special talent. But it's the fact that for the first couple games, none of us gelled together. We couldn't figure out what worked for us and what didn't. And frustration was a huge thing for the first couple games.
Even though you have 6 seniors on the team, you still was it getting involved with the underclassmen and the other ladies on the varsity team?
I feel like it wasn't even that. I feel like we all have our different scenes outside of volleyball, and it was hard for everyone to glue together. But I feel like now we definitely have made progress with that.
So maybe it's easier because of you 6 seniors
sure.
being, yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. Well, Jade, this year so far, if my numbers are right, the team is 7-8 so far. But in the conference, you are 5-3, good enough for 3rd place. Shall we say, what do you owe your success to? Especially outside of the conference. In the conference, what do you owe the success to on the team?
I would say each other, the teammates. We definitely have a bond of friendship from being together so long that we all wanted it more than anything else to just continue to win. Mm-hmm. And we started out the season pretty rough, so we knew we needed to build from that, and we definitely have. So.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Well, Gabby, our non-conference schedule. We're not doing so well. We are 2-6, I think, so far, if my numbers are correct. What do you feel the purpose of non-conference games are, and what do you learn?
So our non-conference, we have played really hard teams. So I feel like those out of conference get us ready for in-conference. Mm-hmm. Every time we play those out conference, we don't do as well, but then it
makes us realize what we need to do better for in conference.
So it's a learning situation?
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a final question to the three of you. I believe on the 10th of October, it's our last home volleyball match, not including playoffs, and we hope we get some playoffs there at our gym. It's our last one, so how do you feel going into that last match, working with the six of you, the six seniors involved? What's it going to feel like in that last match?
Oh,
you personally.
I don't know. I feel like it's like a big boulder on my shoulders. Like I can't get it off my mind. The fact that I'm never gonna play volleyball again after that day, like that bothers me. The fact like I'm never gonna play again.
Well, hopefully we get in the playoffs and we'll be playing. So you'll be playing again, but maybe the last home game.
Yes.
As a senior, and this is your only sport, volleyball. Yeah. So this is kind of like your swan song, isn't it?
This is like my escape from everything. So like without volleyball, I don't know what I want to do.
You feel sad, happy?
I feel very upset and bothered that like volleyball is not going to be a thing anymore for me.
Exactly. Well, Jade, I know that you're a multi-sport athlete, so you're going to be back in other sports, but for volleyball specifically, and especially working not only with the six seniors and especially like Taylor, who only has one sport, what's it going to feel like for you as far as sad, happy, or just going on, this is another sport?
Well, it's going to be really sad because volleyball is the longest sport I've ever played. So, like, I've always looked forward to just the next coming year I was going to play, but there's no next year, so that's weird. Like, I don't know. It's hard to think about. But it's also sad because the team will never be back together. Like, I'll still see people in other sports, but the whole team as one is not going to happen.
Talk about the fact that how long you all have been together, all six of you seniors.
Yeah, so all six of our seniors have been together since sixth grade year, so that's like 7 years of volleyball together.
That's fantastic. Well, Gabby, same question. I know that you're going to go right from volleyball right into basketball, and we're hoping that for big things on basketball this year. But the last volleyball game, what's it going to feel like?
It's going to be really sad. I mean, we've worked together for so long, and not just the seniors, but the underclassmen. I feel like they've come such a long way in watching them, and it's just to know we're leaving them next year, it's sad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'd like to thank Taylor and Jade and Gabby for coming in and talking to us about the volleyball team. And after this commercial break, we'll talk to the other six seniors on the volleyball team. This is Dialogue with the Dukes.
Tired of the same old drive-through lines and looking for a change? Then come on down to La Troje Mexican Bar and Grill. Since its opening in 2021, we have become the very best taste of the South located in the east of town. Come on down and have a seat and have a taste of our mouth-watering Mexican cuisine. With our dozens upon dozens of options, we will surely become your #1 choice for lunch and dinner. So what are you waiting for? La Troje is open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Friday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. So come and try one of our tasty dishes. But delicious food is not the only thing we serve. If you're feeling thirsty, go ahead and have a seat at our bar. We serve a wide variety of drinks, so have a beer. Or better yet, try our refreshing margaritas and prepare to come back for more, because La Troje is the very best taste of the South located in the east of town.
We're back. If you're interested in some good Mexican food, go visit the La Troje Mexican Bar and Grill located at 116 East Herrick in downtown Wellington. They have great margaritas. Of course, you young ladies can't participate necessarily, but they've got great margaritas and other great drinks, as well as great food there at the La Troje restaurant. Well, to my immediate right, we have Bella Beck, a senior on the team, and we have McKenna Solkevich, and finally Joe Stollard, the other three seniors on this year's volleyball team. And we want to start with, again, the stat leaders from last Thursday night's game against that dreaded team out east, LaGrange. Bella, you had, according to the stat information that I have, you had 15 kills and 26 digs, and you were the leader in the digs. The one thing I want to talk about with you is in fact, you've been on the team, the varsity team, since your freshman year, some of the teams. To me, it looks like you're literally flying through the air at all times. And being a former pilot, I once last year a couple of years ago, I talked about one of the basketball players, how he flew through the air. And I said, you must have a pilot's license for flying through the air as much as you do. Talk to me about your position, your role, and how you are getting so many kills on the team, as well as digs.
I'd like to thank Taylor Standen because she sets me up a lot. So
there you go.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love hitting. That's my favorite thing, honestly. I think I'm just an aggressive player. I like to play. I go for the balls. So, yeah. Do
you feel better killing from the back line or from the front line?
Definitely the front line.
Okay. Now, McKenna Solkevich, you have a special place on the team. It's called the libero. So my first question is, what is a libero? And the second question is, you had 22 digs. So it's very important for the libero, especially from the back line, to get all those balls that are like an inch off the ground.
So a libero is kind of basically someone who just like controls the back row, tries to get everyone in their spots, get ready. But they're going to be one of your strongest back row players. Obviously, everyone's a very strong back row player to be on varsity. But they don't count really as a substitute. So they're always on the court, trying to keep everyone in place, trying to get everyone to get up all the balls, covering everything that everyone doesn't get. And
now, how do you communicate between the other two players on the back line?
Basically, so if a ball's like in a tricky spot, you can communicate like how to get it, or if someone's like not passing right, you can be like, hey, like put your platform out this way, do it this way. Or like in serve receive, if some people need pinched, you can always pull back and have your libero pass there so that you're strongest person.
One more question in that vein. Now, when it goes really deep and you have to go all the way to the back wall and get a high shot, how is it arranged within the entire team? Who is going to get that shot from you, who you saved from almost hitting the wall back there?
So if I dig up a ball that somebody shanked, we normally all try to follow it so that somebody can pass it over the net, because a lot of the times if you don't follow the person, they're not going to bring it very far back. They try to bring it as close as they can, but you always want to be running close to the player so that you can try and get it up, because they're diving to get it.
Do they know who, or is it just, where you got the ball hit, just the closest person?
Kind of everyone follows, and the closest person who has the best angle to get it over the net will normally call mine, and they'll take it.
Right, exactly. Well, Joyce, we have 6 seniors on the team, but we also have several underclassmen. What is the importance of underclassmen, and how, as seniors, do you work together to work with the underclassmen?
To me, I would say the underclassmen play a really big role in our program, because essentially they're our future within the volleyball team.
Sure, of course.
So as for us seniors, we have to be a role model for them, uplift them, show them like the ways of like becoming the future team, and just making sure they're like being led in the right way. And also having them on the team is really helpful, because when you're down, they're up and ready to cheer you on. So that plays a really big role, especially on those tougher games.
How do you get them, if they, let's say they miss a ball, how do you get them, okay, no problem. How do you get them up again? I
feel like just empowering words and just being nice, showing them that like it's okay. Like even as a varsity player, we're not perfect either, and it's totally okay. And just making them feel comfortable to make those mistakes as long as they're willing to learn from them.
Good point. Well, Bella, not to cast any aspersions to other teams within the Lorain County 8, who do you feel like our biggest rivals are?
Wellington's biggest rivals are definitely LaGrange. Yeah. We always look forward to their games, and you can tell our energy is usually higher because we want to beat them so bad.
Well, and talking about LaGrange, we know that we lost that first match at that team out east. I believe it was 3-1. So knowing that you lost that first match, what was involved with getting ready for this match last Thursday night?
Like before the first set?
Yeah, before, before the first set, but then after, especially, we lost the first set.
I think it was a wake-up call for us.
Okay.
Like years before, we beat them, and we kind of thought we would probably have that again. So it honestly, like we were all ready to beat them and get back because we wanted to really badly.
Yeah, well, I can understand
Yeah.
that. Any other rivals?
Maybe Columbia, because they're really good. They have a really good volleyball team. We want to beat them coming this Thursday. We hope we do.
Yeah,
So.
that'd be great. Well, my next question to you, McKenna, and again, I've been doing volleyball for so long, but this is another thing I don't understand. Will you please explain the substitution rule? Because sometimes, like you and Gabby, no referees, but Bella or Joyce, you're standing there with your hands up, going, referee, I'm coming in. Explain the substitution rule.
So for a libero, they don't count as a substitution. So for Gabby and Brooke to come in for me, that doesn't count as a substitute because a libero just isn't a substitute. But every single time another player from standing in front of the 10-foot line, they have to stand there and wait for the ref to call them in, and you only get 18 subs a match.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
So they're very carefully watching that, but we have a libero tracker at the table, mostly from the home team tracks it.
Okay.
And you have to watch and make sure that the same people are going in for the libero, correctly substituting, and just watching that. But everyone else is counted for a sub, and we have to watch very closely to make sure we're not getting close to those 18 subs so that everyone can get in.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Well, Joyce, we have 3 coaches, Coach John Fell, Coach Jack Colvin, and Coach Shelby Beck. Explain the division of labor. Who is coaching who, when, where, and so on?
Starting off with like the underclassmen for the freshmen and JV, I feel like Coach Beck is more focused on the younger girls, so that's like your freshman team, and
Okay.
Coach Colvin will also aid in with that. But for JV, it's mainly Colvin, and he's aided by Coach Beck as well. And then for varsity, it's Coach Fell, who's the head coach for the varsity team, and he's also assisted by Coach Beck and Coach Colvin.
Well, talking about the last question that we had with McKenna, who actually calls the substitutes? Is Coach Fell, or is it something that's automatic? How? And we talked about the 18 sub rule. How does Coach Fell manage that particular match? And on one more question, how does he decide when it's the best time for a timeout?
So talking about the substitutions and figuring out who is going to get switched in, usually we already know, like within the lineup, we'll practice it and we'll be like, okay, this person's going to go in for this person when they come in a back row. Or sometimes during the game, like a player might need a break. That's the coach's decision to say, hey, I need you to go and step in. Like, I need you to be a bigger person out there and like really help pull this team together and as well help the person that's coming off the bench.
The timeouts, how does he decide that?
I feel like a timeout is kind of whenever we need a relief. Like, okay, we need to switch up the game plan. Like, something's not working. Or it's just a time where the team needs to come together because maybe we're struggling on serve receive for 2 or 3 points, and he can see it on our faces where we just need a break to come together, reunite, and just review the game plan so that way we can go back out with a stronger mindset, reset, and just be refreshed while we go back out.
Exactly. Well, before we talk about the last question, I'm going to tell a little story, story that happened last Thursday night. I don't know how many of you noticed the lady that was sitting right beside me to my left. She was doing the scoring for that team out east. And she was yelling and screaming and clapping, which as an official, she really shouldn't be doing that. Prior to the match last Thursday night, Coach Fell talked to me and said, I want you to psych up our fans. I want you to get them all excited, cheering, and yelling. I don't think I did anything different. I announced all you all, and with as much enthusiasm as I usually do. The lady to my immediate left, when I was done announcing, she turned to me and said, "You're obnoxious." I was dumbfounded. I didn't know what to say. And my wife later told me, when I related the story to my wife, she said, you should have just smiled at her and said, thank you. Yeah. So anyway, it's the first time I've ever been told that I'm obnoxious. Do you think I'm obnoxious?
No, not at all.
Well, you know I'm a homer. There's no doubt about it. Last question, and it's the same last question that we had with the other 3 seniors. The last home game, is going to be against Brookside on the 10th of October, I believe. What's it going to feel like, Bella, as a senior?
It's going to be really sad. I mean, we've been playing together for 7 years now, I think. And then I've been playing club ball since my freshman year, so it's been nonstop. And so without volleyball, I don't know what I'm going to do with my free time.
McKenna?
I feel like it's going to be bittersweet. I feel like I'm not going to believe it once it's over. I'm going to feel like I'm going to come back next season. But I'll definitely miss getting ready for games. And obviously my favorite part of the game is getting announced. I don't know why, but I always look forward to that. It's my favorite part. So that'll be really sad. But also playing with everyone on the court. We like to pick one thing out each game and laugh about it the whole time and just make fun of it. So.
Well, as you all have seen on senior night, if we have senior night that night, I'm also very emotional, and I get choked up when I'm announcing the seniors. So please bear with me, because I'm going to be probably just as sad as you. So same thing, Joyce. How are you going to feel after that last game, or maybe even during the game? What's it going to be like?
I feel like I'm going to be content. I know some people say that it's going to be sad, but it is the end of a new, like, this era that we've just been together for so many years. And I'm just thankful for the growing moments that volleyball has given me, the learning opportunities, friendships, and amazing memories. And I feel like that's just sealing the deal. Like, I've made it all the way to the end, and that just makes me happy that.
Bringing up friendships, I'm glad you brought that up. The fact that you've been together so long, do you think that you're going to be continuing the friendships, or is this something that you graduate, boom, you're gone?
I definitely could see ourselves maybe when we're little grannies and stuff. We'll go see each other at the grocery store and be like, hey, do you remember whenever this happened when we were together playing volleyball? And I think it'll just be good times that we can look back and laugh at.
Well, one thing I always like to see is when all of the graduated seniors come back for the volleyball games, and I get to see all the people that I used to call and not necessarily be friends with, but be acquaintances of, and being able to call your names out all the time. So it's going to be sad for me, and it's always sad, always on all the senior nights. That's just me. That's the way I am. So once again, we would like to thank all of the 6 seniors on the volleyball team, Taylor and Gabby and Jade and Bella and McKenna and Joyce, for coming in and talking about what I consider is a very successful volleyball season, and we hope that you all go very, very far in the playoffs. We'll be back again very soon for another episode of Dialogue with the Dukes.